What is up, you guys? Max back here with another video, and in this video I'm kind of revealing my new car. This is my 2005 C6 Corvette, and it's very special to me for a number of reasons, and I wanted to touch on that in this video and sort of explain the process of me buying this car. And if you guys did not know or do not follow my channel, I had a 2022 C8 Corvette and I ended up selling it for a number of reasons. One of them being just making a little bit of a profit, because I was fortunate enough to pay MSRP for that car. And if you guys want to know how much I made on that car and how much I sold it for, I'll definitely leave a link up to that video. But without further ado, let me start talking about this car. So this is a 2005 C6 Corvette, as I mentioned. And when I bought it a few months ago, like a month and a half ago, it had 42,000 miles on it. So I found this car on Facebook Marketplace, and I live in Illinois, and the guy who owned this car, he lived in Madison, Wisconsin, and he was selling it for $25,000. That's what he had it listed as. Personally, as someone looking for a C6 Corvette, I was looking for an LS3, so a 2008 or above. The 2005, 6, and 7 all had the LS2, which is in this car because it's a 2005. I was looking for an LS3, but I wasn't against an LS2. Reason being for the LS3 is just slightly more reliable and a little bit more horsepower. Other than that, you know, the LS2 is perfectly fine. But it was the right color, which is yellow. So because of that, and it wasn't priced too bad, $25,000, not crazy for a low mileage example of this car. So I decided to go check it out, and I looked at it, and after having it looked at by a mechanic, the car's very, very clean. The guy who had it before took very good care of it. He had it from, I think, 25,000 miles and up. So there was one other owner before him. But because the car was super clean, I decided to try to negotiate with him and try to get a fair price, or what I would deem as a fair price. And I got him down to $23,000. And if you guys know the car market, I mean, maybe it seems like a lot of money, but for a car that's in such good condition with pretty low miles, and for me personally, like I said, the perfect color, yellow, I mean, it was just a great deal for me, and I couldn't be happier to have purchased it. So when I purchased this car, it was 100% stock, and the cool thing about the car being 100% stock is I get to make all the modifications myself. So this window tint you see here didn't have that, didn't have an intake, didn't have an exhaust, an aftermarket exhaust, did not have any of that. So for me, that's honestly a good thing, because just talking to the guy who owned the car and his son who was a mechanic, like, the car was very, very well taken care of. It had a car cover, and it was only kept in the garage, only driven in, you know, summer months, and for me that was a good thing. I guess now would be a good time to get into the modifications that I have done in just these last couple of weeks. So like I said, the window tint went with 15% ceramic all around the car except for the front windshield. And then I'll bring you guys over to the back of the car. You guys will see I have gotten an aftermarket exhaust. So it might be hard to see, but it does say Corsa on there, and this is the Corsa Sport Axleback exhaust. And I couldn't be happier with it, but I will definitely dedicate an entire video to this exhaust so you guys can get a feel for the comparison between this and stock. The other thing I've done is put in this aftermarket Sony stereo, which does give me access to Apple CarPlay and I guess Android Auto if I needed it or wanted it, and just definitely a lot more modern, and the car didn't even have an aux cord or anything like that, so super glad to have this new aftermarket stereo. And that's pretty much the only 3 mods that I've done so far. As far as mods that I plan on doing down the line, there's definitely a bunch, but for now, this is kind of good for me. You know, I like the stereo, the window tint, and the exhaust were the main things. This car was very quiet prior to this aftermarket exhaust. Even now, it's not super loud, but it's loud enough, and I certainly get a chance to enjoy it, hear it a little bit more. But other than that, I'll probably maybe eventually change these headlights. There's a super cool company out there that makes aftermarket lights for the C6 and other Corvettes. So the headlights might change the rear tail lights, and then other things, but I'll get into that in another video as far as my plans for the car. And then before I end the video, I definitely want to show you guys the original price sticker, because I think that's really cool that I do still have that. So you guys can see it here. It's a tiny bit faded, but you'll be able to see that the original price of the car before options was $43,710. It had the preferred equipment, I guess, package, The aluminum wheels, that was an option. The transparent roof, which is really cool, that was an option. And a few other things, and I guess the total options came out to a little over $8,000. And then the total price of the vehicle ended up being, after the destination charge, a little over $52,000. All right, you guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I just wanted to sort of give a overview or walk around of the car, share with you guys the price of the vehicle that I paid, and sort of the story of negotiating and buying the car. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I know I didn't go into too much detail, but there's that, and just sort of the few modifications that I've done after getting the car. I think I'm at 44,000 miles now, or a little bit over. So buying the car at a little over 42,000. It hasn't been that long, so I think I said like a month and a half. It's pretty accurate, and those are the modifications that I've done thus far. So I'll keep you guys updated as far as the build goes, and then I'll continue making videos as far as news for the C8 Corvette and things like that. But yeah, so subscribe if you haven't already to follow the build. Anything I do with this car, I'll definitely post on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.